I want you to see, okay, because you might think I got off the subject because we're on ANACYCLOSIS, but we're talking about the religious bloodline, right? Now these 7 kings that we were talking about, you know, Charlemagne, Alfred the Great, William the Conqueror, etc., etc. These 7 kings that all the presidents are related to, all the, you know, that's how they picked the king and queen of England, and everyone in charge of our government has this bloodline, right? You know, back, you know, 1,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, whatever you want to say, they hijacked the Christian religion, and they owned the Pope, you know what I mean? Pope crowned them king, you know, as they got a new king, the Pope would crown them. You always have to have that religious aspect to it, right? And what they're doing now is they're going to piggyback onto the religion they already own, right? The Christian, Catholic religion, whatever. And they're going to warp it, and they're going to turn it into the LGBT religion, okay? And they're not going to create their own church, because that wouldn't be as easy as just hijacking the Christian churches. Because the Christian church has already been around for a long time, so it's easy to hijack it. So they're going to hijack it just like they did last time with the, you know, when Christian religion started, they hijacked it. Now they're going to hijack it and turn it into this LGBT thing. I want you to notice in the videos, the previous videos and the future videos, they keep telling me they're so unsafe. And these kids, they get up, talk, that you could see the fear in their eyes, man. Imagine how much a day these kids are told that they are unsafe. Even though the entire school is covered with LGBT flags, stickers, all this kind of crap. They got drag queens and trannies doing things in the auditorium on the stage, dancing and singing. Drag queen story there. But they're just unsafe. How is that? You can't have it both ways, you know what I mean? You can't show the entire student body come out and with LGBT flags saying we love LGBT people, well, at the same time this guy over here is saying those LGBT people are just so unsafe. And at the same time showing the entire student body saying that they love them. Like they literally have a gang of people in their school that's on their side. I didn't have a gang. Who else had a gang of people in their school that would stand up for them like this is happening? And they feel unsafe? You're telling me that ain't brainwashing? And they keep saying how this sex flag that represents your sexuality, right? How it represents inclusion. No, it only includes people that have different, you know, non-regular sexualities. Or it stands for communism, stands for the deep state, the royals, the gender, you know, theory, saying that no one has a gender. And if you're a boy, you suck. Don't act like a boy, because boys and girls are the same. And if you're a girl, don't act like a girl, because girls suck. You know, boys and girls are the same. You gotta be the same. Otherwise, you're a piece of crap. Yeah, that's gender theory. But yeah, they're not going to create a new church called the LGBT church, because they already see the deep state, right? The royals, you know, they already own the Catholics and the Christian churches. They created, Joseph Smith was a royal. Yeah, everyone in Utah, under the Mormon faith or whatever in Utah, probably all pretty much royals living in squalor, because they throw their own people under the bus. You know, they think of them as just a petri dish on how to run a religion. And this isn't, they hijacked the Christian religion. They created the the Mormon religion. They hijacked most of the Protestant churches that combined to have a top council, you know what I mean, that was in charge of them. Yeah, they own them too. And I don't know if I don't think they created them, but they have this fake satanic religion in Hollywood. Nobody that is actually doing the Satanist stuff believes in it. It's just a test to see if you will do it, to know that you will, that you're that crazy. You know what I mean? That you're that corrupt. So they got that religion, and there's another religion they made that I can't think of right now. But yeah, see, they need this LGBT thing so that they can call everyone a racist and whatever that doesn't believe in the gender theory, because they need this gender theory to happen so that they can have a society that they control. They're just going to destroy the family unit.
My name is Chloe Cole, and I'm a detransitioner. Another way to put that would be, I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body, and the adults in my life whom I trusted affirmed my belief, and this caused me lifelong, irreversible harm. I speak to you today as a victim of one of the biggest medical scandals in the history of the United States of America. I speak to you in the hope that you will have the courage to bring the scandal to an end and ensure that other vulnerable teenagers, children, and young adults don't go through what I went through. At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sexual attention to go away.
She was uncomfortable about puberty. Basically, she was uncomfortable about puberty.
That I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table. My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals, but this proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion. The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty-blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son?
So that's what they tell all of them, and it's a lie. That your kid will kill themselves, you know what I mean? Even the transgender ones that are actually transgendered, they don't kill themselves. That's rare. And since it's rare to be transgendered in the first place, it's even more rare for you to be transgendered and commit suicide.
This was enough for my parents to let their guard down, and in retrospect, I can't blame them. This is the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back, but they were far worse when I was on the blockers. A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown. I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster. I had a double mastectomy at 15. They tested my amputated breast for cancer. And I was cancer-free, of course. I was perfectly healthy. There was nothing wrong with my still developing body or my breasts, other than that, as an insecure teenage girl, I felt awkward about it.
She was uncomfortable about puberty. How many girls are uncomfortable about puberty that are getting talked into this?
After surgery, my grades in school plummeted. Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had. And my doctors, with their theories on gender, thought that all my problems would go away as soon as I was surgically transformed into something that vaguely resembled a boy.
So this is a common theme. There's thousands of, detransitioners, there were here and there. Now there's thousands coming out detransitioning, saying they got tricked. And they all give the same story. They told us that our child would die if we didn't get this immediately done, you know what I mean?
Their theories were wrong. The drugs and surgeries changed my body, but they did not and could not change the basic reality that I am and forever will be a female. When my specialists first told my parents that they could have a dead daughter or a live transgender son, I wasn't suicidal. I was a happy child who struggled because she was different. However, at 16, after my surgery, I did become suicidal. I'm doing better now, but my parents almost got the dead daughter promised to them by my doctors. My doctors had almost created the very nightmare they said they were trying to avoid. So what message do I want to bring to American teenagers and their families? I didn't need to be lied to. I needed compassion. I needed to be loved. I needed to be given therapy to help me work through my issues, not affirm to my delusion that by transforming into a boy, it would solve all my problems. We need to stop telling 12-year-olds that they were born wrong, that they are right to reject their own bodies and feel uncomfortable with their own skin. We need to stop telling children that puberty is an option, that they can choose what kind of puberty they will go through, just so they can choose what clothes to wear or what music to listen to. Puberty is a rite of passage to adulthood, not a disease to be mitigated. Today, I should be at home with my family celebrating my 19th birthday, and instead I'm making a desperate plea to my elected representatives. Learn the lessons from other medical scandals like the opioid crisis, to recognize that doctors are human too, and sometimes they are wrong. My childhood was ruined along with thousands of detransitioners that I know through our networks. This needs to stop. You alone can stop it. Enough children have already been victimized by this barbaric pseudoscience. Please let me be your final warning. Thank you.
This is Liz Wheeler on YouTube. She actually brings up something finally, what I'm saying, which is this is all communism. It's all the deep state, the royals.
Pride Month is behaving as a literal cult. A literal cult, and they're coming for our children. And I know this sounds, some people are going to be like, well, Liz, come on. This is just about celebrating the advances that gay people have made in our country, equality and tolerance, and yada, yada, yada.
It's a religion. You can believe it. It's going to be the new religion. It's going to take over Christianity.
Let me just tell you, watch this video, and you can decide for yourself, because this happened at an elementary school in the United States of America in honor of the first day of Pride Month, which the left calls Pride Day. These are children. You can see the ages of these children in this video. Let's go ahead and play this right now. They're entering school. They have no choice but to participate in this.
When she says they are forced, obviously they're not, dragged into the whatever. The kids are having fun because they put all these colors. It's like when they sell cigarettes to kids, they make it a camel guy and they give cartoons and they give all these good colors and you know what I mean. It's just the same thing. There's a bunch of colors, music, dancing, cake, cookies, make it all look good. But these kids are just being indoctrinated. They have no choice. They got to go to school, so they have no choice to see this stuff.
This Pride celebration. Elementary school children, they are small children, and they're met with teachers and administrators dressed in rainbow-colored uniform onesies, waving pride flags. There's the transgender progress flag, the transgender flag in this elementary school. Look at how small that child is. Those are kindergartners and first graders and second graders, and they are all forced to walk under a rainbow arch. So when I say that...
Keep in mind, the LGBT, this is about your sexuality. If you have a mental problem about your gender, that's all it includes. It doesn't include anybody else, but somehow they represent all of us. Right.
That this elementary school is forcing children to celebrate Pride Month, I mean that. I'm not saying that to sound bombastic. I'm not saying that to be hyperbolic. Look at those teachers. They are draped in rainbow flags, draped in pride flags. These small children are forced to participate in Pride Month. Understand what Pride Month is. Pride Month is not about the dignity of all human beings. It is not about celebrating equality under the law. It is not about promoting tolerance for alternative lifestyles. Pride Month is underpinned by queer theory. Pride Month is an anti-Christian, anti-biology, anti-science, Marxist ideology.